and let us all do we can to build a better future.
So Joe Biden's in a little bit of trouble. I know, he's in trouble. Well, turns out third-party candidates are threatening Biden. And I want everyone to take this with a grain of salt. I understand everyone has a right to be critical of politicians, but my job here for Hardlens Media is to give my perspective, analysis, and critique of the candidates that are running in the 2024 election cycle. Now, this is rather fascinating because we might be witnessing something that we haven't seen since the election with Bill Clinton and Bush Sr., and was also Al Gore Bush Jr. in 2000. And that is a third-party candidate being on the debate stage. Now, we've seen Ross Perot, and we've also seen Ralph Nader. I think those are the only two times recently in which a third-party candidate was on the debate stage with the two mainstream candidates. So as it stands right now, there is a very serious potential on how Robert F. Kennedy could be the first third-party candidate to qualify to be on the main debate stage. Hey, we all have a right to be critical of people, but I'm also a little bit shocked that this is kind of going to happen. So we'll see how this plays out. Shout out to Case Study QB. Follow him on Twitter. He's wrongly being censored. So let's play this video.
Data power and politics and the latest on the state of the 2024 race. The Commission on Presidential Debates announcing Monday the dates and locations for 3 presidential debates between September and October and 1 vice presidential debate. For more on the announcement and how polling could impact the debates, I want to bring in NBC's chief political analyst, Chuck Todd. Chuck, I want to start with some numbers that caught our eye in first read. According to NBC News polling in a head-to-head match, a generic Republican is up 11 points over Biden, and a generic Democrat is up 6 points against Trump. And then there's this. The New York Post is reporting that RFK Jr. could be the first third-party candidate to reach the debate stage in more than 30 years. To make the stage, candidates have to reach at least 15% in national polls. And right now, according to Real Clear Politics and their average.
Now, looking at these numbers, these are pretty impressive. Would RFK Jr. Be able to qualify? The answer is yes. However, there's many things also working against him. Since he is not part of a main party or even that, the Libertarians or Greens, he's running as an independent. Now, Heartlands Media has covered a lot of third-party elections or campaigns, to be more precise, in 2018, in 2020, and in 2022. And let's face it, here in Illinois, we are very draconian towards independents and third parties. I've repeated this before, but it must be noted and be said again and again and again. It is very difficult to get on the ballot. And as an independent, it's extremely difficult. Excuse me. So here's what RFK Jr. and his team is going to have to do. They're going to have to work double time, triple time, to secure ballot access in all of the states. Same thing for Dr. Cornel West, same thing for Dr. Jill Stein, same thing for the Libertarians. Libertarians, however, more or less, I am thoroughly impressed with the amount of states that they do have ballot access on. It's around 38 to 40, give or take. And they're very close to finishing the job to getting on all 50 states, which is not an easy task to do. It's very impressive. And the other campaigns are going to have to match that as well. Now, as for somebody who has name recognition, RFK Jr. has the possibility of securing a spot. Will the establishment let him on there? Hey, let's have democracy in the chat. Type 1 for Kit. This is the United States of America. And on this Thanksgiving, how dare you ask that? The United States is open to have perfect representation. We are going to hear different perspectives and points of view. How dare you, sir? How simply dare you? He will be on the debate stage, as will everybody else. Type 2, no, man, they're not going to let him on the debate stage. What's wrong with you? You know the answer. This is a rigged question. How dare you on this Thanksgiving? How simply dare you? I wonder how many 2s we're going to get in the chat. I wonder.
RFK Jr. is at 16.7. So, first question is simple. Could we see 3 candidates on the debate stage next year?
In theory, we could, but not if Donald Trump is one of them. I think if Donald Trump is a Republican nominee, Joe Biden's not debating.
And that's so stupid. Now, that's a different subject altogether. We are witnessing Biden stuttering and stammering all over the place. He's been doing that for the past 3 years. But vote blue no matter who. You guys said in 2020, and me and Daniel called you out, as did everybody else in independent media, Jimmy Dore, the entire crew of Revolutionary Blackout Network, Convo Couch, everybody. You in the live stream audience did the exact same thing too. We called out vote blue no matter who. They are all saying, vote blue no matter who, was saying to all of us that Biden was better than Trump, that he can know how to handle himself. Well, okay, if he can handle himself, we're calling you all out. Vote blue. Everybody, from my live stream audience to everyone in independent media, hell, to the whole world. If Biden is as strong as he is, he needs to debate Trump. Why? Are you afraid he's going to look lost and senile? That he's going to stutter and stammer? Everybody sees it. Everybody knows about it. Everybody's talking about it. A president is not going to debate his challengers, even in a general election. He's not going to debate Trump. He's not going to debate RFK Jr. or Dr. Cornel West or Dr. Jill Stein or whoever the libertarian nominee is going to be. Really? Fantastic. Democrats, if this is malicious, fine. But if you guys are really acting stupid on purpose, go F yourselves. I wonder what kind of propaganda you're going to use. How are you going to vilify independent media by calling you out? Your boy won't even debate. His handlers won't let him debate. What leg do you have left to stand on? Vote blue no matter who.
And I don't know if Joe Biden's going to debate anybody, but I'm pretty confident, and I say this not as just some willy-nilly prediction, Tom, but I'm pretty confident that the White House has no interest in ever debating Donald Trump again. And I know in talking with some people over there that they feel comfortable with that position.
Hey, let's have democracy in the chat. Now, I'm not asking if you're going to vote for Biden, but do you think that this is a smart decision by the Democrats to not have Biden debate Trump or any of the other candidates that are running in the 2024 election cycle? Type 3 for, yeah, Kit, this is a smart decision. Biden is just too good. He cannot be beaten. He is undefeatable, baby. Type 4, no, this is dumb. I mean, he's losing across the board. This is a stupid decision. Either that or they need to replace him immediately. I wonder how many 4s we're going to get in the chat. I wonder.
If they end up making that, I don't think they don't have to make a final decision. They don't know who the nominees are going to be. But they have noted that Donald Trump didn't do any of his debates. So why should they? There's
a difference between why Trump didn't do the primary debates and why Biden didn't do the primary debates. Number one, when it comes down to the Democratic primary right now, it is a rigged game. It is a rigged game. The DNC is a rigged election, okay? The primary is rigged. So, and not to mention, too, we said this on the post-duopoly show, is due dissidents and Revolutionary Blackout Network. It's very rare for a incumbent to be a part of a primary debate because he's already going to be the party's nominee. I mean, Donald Trump didn't do it during the 2020 Republican primary, and Donald Trump won with absolute ease. This is true. Number two, look, Trump, this time around, he's running as a challenger. And let's face it, the Republican primary debates are lackluster. They're mediocre. They're not entertaining. I think Trump did himself a favor by not engaging. And because of that, he had an extraordinary interview with Tucker Carlson that superseded the first Republican primary debate. Then he was with auto workers for the second one. Not showing up, it hasn't impacted or dented Trump's numbers at all. He's still the front runner. Biden is losing support. We've covered so much polling data showing that Biden is losing support. Simple as that. This isn't open up for a debate. These are facts. To quote Ben Shapiro here, facts don't care about feelings, but Ben Shapiro has a lot of feelings. So, he's not as thick-skinned as we thought he was.
They feel any pressure to do general election debates that he's involved in. So that's why I think it's a huge caveat here. Donald Trump's the nominee. We're not having normal presidential debates. I promise you that.
But you also said, and this is a lot, for viewers who may be hearing this for the first time, I know this
Correct.
has been reported out there, but if you have, say, a Nikki Haley or a Ron DeSantis, you're also saying there could be a chance that the current President Biden will not attend the debates.
Yeah, I think there's a strong chance of that. I don't know what the debates are. When you're the incumbent, doing a debate, you do because you have to, not because you want to, right? That's number one. And the minute you do it, you have leveled the playing field. Well, if they're concerned about his ability, about his nimbleness, and you look at the way they protect him now, and how, little even regular media interaction he has. I just, the debates didn't go that well the last time, but Donald Trump was the meltdown when it, and that sort of grabbed a lion's share of the attention. I just, look.
Isn't that, but I mean,
Chuck,
as somebody who talks
around the president.
Yeah, Chuck, you're somebody who talks.
He wants to debate,
right.
Tom. By the way, for what it's worth, he wants to debate. Nobody around him wants him to debate.
Yeah, as somebody who talks a lot about the process, right, about the democratic process, don't you think the voters deserve a debate?
Well, yes, I think debates are
Look, these debates, they're a hit or a miss. Sometimes they can be entertaining. Sometimes they're just downright stupid. But vote blue no matter who. All you people, you vote blue liberals who, yelled at Hard Lens Media or Jimmy Dore, Revolutionary Blackout Network, or anybody else. You guys are saying that Biden was your main dog, that he could do it, that we got to fall in line. You did a lot of bullying in 2020. You did a lot of grandstanding. You really put on a great show. What's wrong? Can't keep it up? You guys looking a little impotent, looking a little tired? You're trying to take the high road by, we won't debate Trump. Well, then fine. It's still not going to change the poll numbers. I mean, Biden's losing black voters, Muslim voters, Arab voters, young voters. Hell, he's losing boomers. He's losing Gen Xers. He's losing millennials. He's losing Gen Zers. He's losing across the board, Biden is. And he's not going to debate? By what? Do you think by virtue Americans are just going to fall in line and vote for him? What, are you stupid? Well, you probably are. Vote blue no matter who. It's all right. You're scared. No, you know what? Gobble, gobble. You little turkeys.
Good thing. I think candidates worry about debates too much. I think that, the fewer debates you have, sometimes the more the more importance they take on. I think 3 or 4 or 5 debates in a series is a healthy way to see everything. And I think I do think they're
Chucky. Oh, look, Chucky's struggling. He's struggling to give an answer. He doesn't know what to do. Chucky boy, hang in there, buddy. He's like, oh, they got the laser to my head. If I don't say the right answer, I'm not going to get the stuffing.
They're very important and very relevant. I don't think Donald Trump, though, treats the process with the same reverence that you and I are talking about, though, and frankly, any other candidate has ever done.
No, I get it, but then if President Biden, I know we're speaking in hypotheticals here, if President Biden doesn't attend a debate or chooses not to, I mean, you're going to have that same conversation with President Biden, and I got to ask you, I mean, it's going to be strange now if you have a debate and the Democratic candidate's not there and somehow a third party candidate like RFK Jr. is on the stage with
That's
Donald
not
Trump.
Unprecedented.
I have no idea. Yeah.
It's actually not unprecedented. So in 1980, Jimmy Carter refused to debate Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, and how'd that work out for old Jimmy? Ronnie Boy slapped him around.
Did not want to debate Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan accepted a debate with John Anderson, who was the third-party candidate that year, and he had done well enough to qualify for the major presidential debates. And then, right toward the election, Carter felt like he had to do it. Now, and he ended up having one debate. And that's the other part of this, Tom. We will not have 3 debates. If there is a debate, there would be one, is my guess, at.
Look, here's what I want out of the election for 2024. I mean, ideally, I would love to see the day or witness a day to see a third party or independent candidate win. I mean, that'd be a sight to see. I don't think I'm going to see it. That is in fantasy land. My idealistic point of view, what I could see happening, what I would like to see is maybe 1 or 2 of the independent candidates winning 1 electoral college vote, something of that nature. I know that is a difficult task at hand. I could see a lot of people saying, well, Kit, that's easier said than done. That would be a sight, because then, hey, what how crazy would it be if maybe the Greens, the Libertarians, RFK Jr. and Dr. Cornel West in their own right each secured one electoral college vote? That would be historic. I would like to see that. Now, can that happen? There is a possibility. It all depends on voter turnout and how engaged people are and how successful the various campaigns that I mentioned are in getting people to turn out to vote for them. That's the key thing. And unfortunately, many Americans are burnt out by electoral politics, which is why I say, hey, we got to support citizen ballot initiatives. However, there is another thing to take away from this, and that is here's what I'm really looking forward to: the potential liberal meltdown of Trump's reelection. Now, look, I said that 2024 is going to be the repeat of 2020, two old men fighting over a cold bowl of soup. But the one thing that's going to be priceless is the liberal meltdown. The people crying, saying, this is the end of democracy. Oh, no, Trump's in office again. And I want to see the media, too, have a collective meltdown. Because here, Chucky Boy Todd is doing twists and turns and making himself into a pretzel, a reverse pretzel. He's sticking his head up his wazoo and doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to do. Goodness gracious, Cretaceous. I'm just looking forward to seeing them all collectively say, we did not see this happen. Because the Democrats want to run a shite show. Hey, AOC and Bernie Sanders, what's it like giving up your integrity and your political movement to endorse a guy who won't even fight?
Best. But again, and it's early, and there's a lot of things that are going to happen between now and the general election. But if Donald Trump's a Republican nominee and Joe Biden's a Democratic nominee, I don't think we will have a debate. I really don't. I hope I'm wrong.
Right.
I want to see it. I think it's healthy. I'm just telling you based on my own reporting. Based on
it's out there.
Unlikely to happen.
It's out there. We sort of went in a crazy tangent, but it's okay because I think this is a great conversation. RFK Jr. right now, who do you think he hurts more? Does he hurt the Democrats or the Republicans?
Look, all the polling does indicate he slightly hurts Trump more than he hurts Biden right now. And when you look at third-party candidacies, you could sit here and argue them both ways. When there's an incumbent involved, the third party is splitting the anti-incumbent vote. So when an incumbent's involved, a third-party candidate usually hurts the challenging party more than the incumbent party. And so far in this case,
but all data is also showing that Democrat voters are disengaging themselves from Biden. You know, there's so many reports that we have done showing that voters want to vote for somebody else and that they're not impressed or confident in Biden. So, yes, there's a very good possibility that, because we're looking at polling, it's all speculation. But when the rubber meets the road, here's what could happen. Voters will probably vote for maybe independents like Greens or Libertarians or Dr. Cornel West or RFK Jr. These are possibilities that can happen. And yes, Trump is universally popular. He kept his political movement together. I would be shocked if Trump doesn't have a high voter turnout. But I will also have to say there's two. Everyone is dismissing the power of independents and third parties and really just how Democrats shot themselves in the foot. They did this to themselves. They're underestimating how voters and even their own voting base are just starting to despise them.
That's what we're seeing. And part of it is Kennedy and Trump are actually talking to similar voters. Part of it is the right-wing media ecosystem really promoted by Kennedy for a long time, for a good year, because they were trolling Biden, right? He was the Democratic primary candidate for a year. So he got a lot of free conservative publicity. And I think that boosted his numbers among voters that are more likely to vote Trump or nothing at the end of the day. Now, the question is Kennedy the only candidate? Cornel West, who was an independent candidate, the very progressive academic, African-American academic, if he's on the ballot in Michigan, he could maybe only be on the ballot in 3 or 4 states, but if one of them's Michigan, well, he could flip that state all on his own. So, I don't think we even fully have the full picture here. Yes, Kennedy may get on 40 or 50 ballots, but what Cornel West does on 10 may actually have more impact.
Chuck Todd for us. Chuck, we thank you for joining us on Top Story tonight.
Yeah. All right. Chucky boy, man, he is projecting. He's scared. his DNC handlers were just holding guns, probably in the background saying, you better say everything right. Because here's what's the problem. Here's what's happening. This is on Fox News. Dr. Cornel West, that's right. To target minority groups, Biden has lost support with in Michigan. And look, ideally, I hope Dr. Cornel West does stay in the race. I hope that he's able to recover after what Peter Dow didn't do, but there is a possibility Cornel West, he's another factor to bring in here, and Jill Stein and everybody else, what they can do and how the Democrats, again, systematically ruin their own chances by the choices that they make.
Topic of the hour. Independent presidential candidate Cornel West reportedly planning to target key voting blocks where President Biden is losing support. West says he's setting his sights on Michigan ahead of the 2024 presidential election. Politico is reporting this. West will take his threadbare campaign to the state early next year to rally support among Arab American voters in Dearborn, environmental justice advocates in the majority Black city of Flint University students and indigenous populations. A new Fox News poll finds 62% of voters under the age of 45, 60% of Hispanic voters, and 41% of Black voters all disapprove of Biden's job performance. Trump is gaining support from independents, from Black voters and Hispanic voters. I don't know if Cornel West is going to be able to turn this tide, Todd Pyro. It's really about policy.
And he could chip away at some votes because let's be realistic. What has Joe Biden done for not only the Black community, but also all the communities that you rattled off there that Cornel West is speaking to?
No, Biden didn't do jack. There, simple answer. Biden didn't do jack. This is the undeniable truth. And I remember saying this after 2020 that Biden's going to abandon his base. He's going to run back the country like how it's always been. Nothing's going to fundamentally change. Just things are going to get progressively worse. Hey, how's the economy treating you? That's right. This question. Type 5 for Kit. Man, this Thanksgiving, we're doing great. Full tank of gas. Everybody's smiling and happy. Rainbows and sunshines all around. Type 6 for man. How dare you? How dare you, man? I don't know how I'm going to make it past tomorrow. Man, things aren't doing good under Biden. You know the answers to this. I hate this question. I wonder how many sixes we're going to get in the chat. That's right. I wonder if we're going to get a 666 in the chat.
I'll wait. The answer is nothing because those communities have all been hurt by Bidenomics.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's all about policy.
It's all about policy.
What's Cornel West going to do to try to get these people to change their mind? They're living it.
I think it's already baked in. I think he could peel off some votes. And I will say this, having heard Cornel West speak once before, you may not agree with his positions, but he is an eloquent speaker. He presents his viewpoints in a cognizant way. And I think they need to pay more attention to that because Joe Biden is already in big trouble with a lot of the groups that you rattled off there. The environmentalists are mad at him because, we actually are producing an iota of oil right now. The Arab American community is mad at him because of the way he's handled this entire thing, trying to go right down the middle. He's upset both sides. I'm not saying Cornel West is going to be the president. I'm saying he could chip off some votes.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a few factors at play here, too, because when you look at, Latino voters, I'm half Hispanic, we're not a monolith, and you have to sort of segment it by age. You look at the young people they have TikTok-addled brains at this point, and I heard Cornel West go up there, and he was specifically targeting young people and their anti-Israel animus right now, and so I think he's looking at that younger vote, maybe those younger Black Americans, those younger Hispanic Americans, but older Hispanic Americans and Latinos, speaking for myself and my mother, we are more conservative, the traditional value, et cetera. So I think those guys are going more to Trump, and Cornel could actually pick up some of the voters that Biden is hemorrhaging because of the next generation of citizens being, frankly, out of their minds when it comes to these digital platforms.
Oh, God. Look, hey, boomers. Remember when you were a kid and they said that you were out of your mind? Hey, Gen Xers, remember when you were a kid and they said that you were out of your mind? Hey, millennials, my group. Well, I know we're out of our minds, but remember when they said that we were out of our minds? Look, it's nothing new. Can we stop saying this? Like, look, it's starting to get repetitive. Okay, the whole world is crazy, but guess what? It's always been this way. But you want to know what's funny? We all get to point and laugh at the Democrats as they implode, and make yourself a nice, tasty meal on election night. because you're going to witness a lot of meltdowns. Let these people cry. Let them cook. Let them cook this Thanksgiving. Let them cook.
Platforms that they're getting their sources of news from, like TikTok.
You know, I understand the concept of divide and conquer. It's the oldest strategy there is. But honestly, I am so tired of this being applied to politics, where we're going to segment this group and segment that group and then play them off against one another. It feels inherently un-American to me, and
that's what the media has done for years. You've divided us. You don't get to sit there and say, I can't believe it. Americans are at each other's throats. Yes, this has been happening for quite some time now.
upsets me. I don't know how we get out of that. I don't know how we get past that. How do we find a Ronald Reagan who can unite us?
We got to stop looking to the past. We got to look forward. We need people of this day and age.
I mean, to think that Ronald Reagan carried 49 of 50 states, imagine a presidential candidate being able to do that in this moment.
What a sight it would be. So what can we take away from this? Well, I'm kind of seeing what I want to see play out. Independence being viewed legitimately by the media, by voters. It's up to the various campaigns now, from Dr. Jill Stein, the Green Party, to the Libertarians, to RFK Jr., and yes, Dr. Cornel West, to secure ballot access, and for all of them to respectively to get on the debate stage. It's a sight I would like to see. Will it happen? Well, the establishment has made it abundantly clear that they want to have the narrative in their favor. And the Democrats seem to be all on board that should Trump be the nominee, they're not going to have Biden debate him, which is stupid. But, you know, I'm not expecting big brain decisions by the Democrats. I'm expecting absolute failure. So this Thanksgiving, remember, folks, if you want to outsmart your conservative and liberal brainwashed relatives, be independent and tell them to be righteously angry and wake them up to a new way of thinking. Independent, third parties, citizen ballot initiatives, and breaking away from the two-party system, because enough of it. Quote George Carlin, "It's one big club, and all of us at the dinner table ain't in it."